this goes down here.
Greetings everybody, this is Paul, the Inventory King. I hope that you guys are all having an awesome day and enjoying your fish. I would be honored if you guys could click the subscribe button and that notification bell and join me on my fish keeping adventures by subscribing. Old school Inventory King right here, the old school shirt, original logo. Haven't worn this in a long time. So we got a DIY today, an auto top off system for the freshwater tank. If you could tell, this is all from evaporation, and having to set up a hose and all that stuff takes time. It's easy, but it takes time. So in order to make this happen, we need to work on two different things. The first one is going to be the controller that's going to control the auto top off, and the second is going to be the reservoirs. So the first part is the controller, and I got this from Joey, the King of DIY. So a big shout out to Joey, the King of DIY, for making this video some time ago. So we're gonna go through how I assembled it, and then after that, we need to build the reservoir. Are you guys ready? This is gonna be a fun project. Let's go.
All right, so you can see we have everything that we need here. We have the water pump, we have some extra wire, we have the float switch, the wall adapter, the relay, the socket, the extension cord, and we got the housing for the auto top off. All right, so here we go. We got our extension cord. There's two sides, as you can see here. There's a smooth side and then there's a rib side. The smooth side is where the power is, and that is what we need to connect these things to. Cut in half like so. Split it apart. Cut it, strip it back. So now it's time to assemble all of the wiring to the relay socket, which will go through the relay and make this all happen. So we got both of these ring terminals on. So we need to go ahead and get them assembled onto the socket now. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to extend the length of the float switch so that everything can be under the cabinet. So the next step is we need to connect one end of the float switch to one end of this power supply. All right, so now that we got the float switch set, we need to go ahead and set them here on the relay socket. All right, so in theory, this should work. So here's what we're gonna do. Plug this in, like so. Plug this in, like so. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna plug this into here for the test. Now, as you can see, it is not lit. But as soon as I push the float up, it turns on. Off, on. So you could change this to any way you want. You just flip this ring out and turn it around. So as of right now, when the float's down, it's on. When the float is up, it's off. Yeah! It is time to make the reservoirs for the auto top off. We need a hole saw. We're going to use uniseals, 1-inch uniseals. So you need a 1 3/4 inch hole saw. Slow and steady wins the race. Let's get drilling. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a spot, this L. We're going to go where this L is. Slow. So there's hole number 1. There's going to be a little bit of burrs on there. You can see them. You want to get light sandpaper and just sand that up. So again, slow and steady. That is what's important. Let's go ahead and drill number 2. So do that. So as you can see, we have the hole here from the center and we got the hole started on slow. Once you go and you have it set here where the hole saw is going to sit in there, then you can speed it up. You just want this part to stay nice and even. Have it back on slow just to make sure that we're in place. Shazam! Right, we got our sandpaper. Go ahead and scuff it up a little bit just to get any of those burrs off. Just make sure this is smooth as well by just going in where the hole was made. Check that out. Nice and clean. You can see no burrs. We are ready to roll on this one. Number 2, good to go. All right, so now that we got the holes done, everything's scuffed up to get all the burrs out. We got our 2 uniseals, 1-inchers, and these go like this and like that. Next step is the PVC, the 1-inch PVC pipe. We need to decide how big we want it to be. You can get a pretty good idea. Okay, so see that in here? When you put the PVC pipe in, it expands this right here and creates that seal. So let's go ahead and... That's actually good. Got them both there. All right, so we got the lids as well. What we're gonna do is drill a hole into one of them. That is for this right here. Okay, we are ready to install this onto the tank now. I got this piece of PVC.
with the float switch. It's to help seat it in an area where it won't move and the float will be in the water. So let's go ahead and put that up here, and then we need to put the controller underneath. Okay, so here we go. Here is the float switch, and I designed it to sit right in this hole. It gets nice and snug, as you can see. There we go. It is sitting in the tank now, and it's gonna be ready to roll. All right, so we got the box now routed down here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mount it up here so it's out of the way. All right, let's go ahead and get this sucker mounted. Number one. And number two. Lid's in place, awesome. So we're good to go. We got the reservoirs. They're gonna go in over here. Okay, so as you can see, I got some right angles and I have them tilted down to maximize as much water as I can. Here's the other side. So here's the pump that I'm using. Let's go ahead and pull it out of the box. Nothing crazy. I think it's rated for 80 gallons an hour. Simple pump, suction cups, which will go onto the bottom. Okay, so here are two of the items I got. A right angle hose barb, threaded, and then I got this threaded adapter. So we're gonna go ahead and put this in. So I'll go ahead and stick that right there. So I'm gonna dip this in the tank water right now so the rubber softens. So I ended up putting this together over the sink because I needed really hot water to get the hose over the barb, but we got it on. We got the hose on the barb. We got a hose clamp here. So this is ready to go. So now this goes down here. Now what we need is the elbow and some 1/2-inch pipe. Now I will more than likely glue this later. I'm just gonna do it like this for now. So we got that. Put it together like so. All right, so it took me a little bit to get that together, but you get the idea. So we got this going down to the back with the flex tubing, and then we got this coming in like so, and it is gonna pump water into here. All right, so we have one of the lids with a hole in it. Now, what we need to do is we need to feed the power line through there. And we also need to feed this through here. Okay, so that's on there. You can see I could take it on and off, but I gotta wiggle it on and off. So this should do just fine. This should not give any issues. So we're gonna go ahead and mount it inside. Now we need to fill up the buckets. Okay, it's time to fill them up. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put this lid on here. And then again, we could see the water's full on the other side. Now we gotta plug it in. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to plug these in to the power strip. And then this goes to the power supply for the water pump. So after going through everything and testing it, the pump was not strong enough that we originally put in. So something to keep in mind when you guys are buying your pump, make sure that you check the head pressure, how much height the pump could push the water. For me, it was over 6 feet, and that pump was only 3 feet. Learned the hard way, so don't make the same mistake I did. Off of Amazon, it was like $17, really inexpensive. And it's gonna do the job, that is for sure. So here it is. Now, the attachments that came with it were big. And this is the smallest one. So what I had to end up doing was going to my hardware store and get a piece of vinyl tubing that's gonna go on here,
with a reducer that's going to go on what I originally had. So instead of buying all new tubing, we just went and did this. So I went ahead and did this off camera because it would take a long time. So all you need to do is, if the barbs aren't going onto the hose well, put the hose under hot water. It'll soften it, allow you to put it on, and then I ran cold water over it to harden it back up, and it seems like it's going to do the job. So we got it cut. Now remember, this is going to be hard, so it's going to be tough to get it on the barb. So I just have a cup of hot water here. We're going to just hold this in here so it softens it up. All right, so I don't know if you could see, but I was able to get the other hose about 2 barbs on. It's a little small, but I worked with it and it's not going to come off. I mean, I'm pulling on it, it ain't going to come off. I'm confident that I'm going to be good, and I just got it to go down even more. So I'm confident. Okay, we're all set. We got the line and the cord ran through the top here. Everything looks good. So let's go ahead and place the pump into the bucket. You can see that we got the pump in the bucket, we got the cord ran in here, and we got the vinyl tubing ran. This looks to be sitting on there good still. I'm not gonna have any kind of concern. So we are at the point of seeing if this is gonna work. Okay, so now that everything is hooked up and ready to go, we just need to flip this on because I had it off while I plugged everything in. So as soon as I flip this, it should work. Look at that. How cool is that? Now check this out. When I push the float switch up, which is over here, and it stops. All right, so as you can see, it is still filling up. There's the float switch. So let's see how the buckets are looking. There you go. You can see how much came out. And what's great is it's going to be even because of the pipe down at the bottom, right there. It's going to be even flow from each bucket. You can see that the small hose is on the barb still okay, so that I am not concerned about. But this is going to be a really fun thing to have. So you can see it's still filling up. I had to make some adjustments. There's the float. I had to move this power head, and I had to move this power head. I had to aim them to where there was less flow back here because it kept making the float bounce around, and it was shutting the system on and off, on and off, on and off. So I know we're getting close. Let's see what's going to happen here. We should be getting to a point where it's going to shut off anytime. But definitely trial and error. Things are going to work and then they're not going to work. You got to just find what works. So we're going to stand here. The bubbles is the water coming in. There's the flow. So let's see what happens here. Still filling up. Can you guys see? This is a good test too, because I might have to adjust this up a little bit so we don't create any back siphoning. I have a feeling we are going to have to do that. Okay, so we got it in the corner there. It looks level. I think if that's not level, you're going to run into problems. So make sure that it's level. Let's see how much water got taken out of these things. Yeah, near the bottom. So almost 10 gallons of water was out of the tank. Well, it did its job. Got it filled up. You can see here that we're good on the water height. So all I'm going to have to do for the next, I don't know, week, because enough will evaporate that it's going to click on again. And just need to make sure that it's seated properly and that it shuts off. So it's just going to be a monitoring thing. We know that right now, as it sits, how much water was out of here. That was 10 gallons, give or take. So this shouldn't overflow because of how I have the float seated. So there we go. We've got the box here with the relay and the wiring. We got our reservoirs here, which I'm gonna have to fill up.
What did you guys think of that? Man, that was a lot of fun to make that. It's cool. And what's great is anytime I do a water change, all I gotta do is fill up the buckets. I mean, it's awesome. And you know, let's say I don't go through a water change for some time. I may have to fill these up twice, but hey, for it to do the job and I don't have to worry about it besides filling up those buckets, man, I think that that's cool. I think it's really cool. In the comment section down below, what do you guys think? Do you think this is cool? Something you guys might do? I would love to hear what you guys have to think about it. And again, if you could like this video, that would be amazing. If you could share the video, awesome. And I would be honored if you guys could click the subscribe button and the notification bell and join me on my fish keeping adventures by subscribing. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I sure had fun making it. Thanks for watching, everybody. This is Paul, the Inventory King, and stay tanked.
Since this video has water and electric, there are a few disclaimers I would like to go over. I am in no way responsible for any water damage that may happen. I am not responsible for any electrical damage that may happen. I am not responsible if the float switch gets stuck on and water keeps pumping and overflows. So again, disclaimers, I am in no way responsible for anything that takes place from this video. No kind of damage, nothing. I am not responsible for anything.